This is set number 10656, my first Lego Princess. This is a set ages 4 to 7, 88 pieces, released in 2013. This is from the Bricks and More theme, so it kind of has a general idea as far as building goes. Includes one minifigure, one horse, and retails for about $10. You can still find this in stores in pretty good stock today. So if you want to pick this set up, it's still available for purchase. So let's take a closer look at this set now. So first we have the box for this set. Nice little box art to show some of the models that you can build on here. It shows in the bottom corner that there are extra pieces that are included with this set for more building opportunities. This is a very unique set as far as the ones I've reviewed, because this one doesn't have just one build, but it has multiple builds and encourages you to build some other things from the pieces given. Very nice look on the art, on the box art. We also get some nice background details to suit the mood for the set. It also says on the top, for young builders, easy to build. So this could go right into some of your sets that have been just released about not too long ago that go with the juniors line. Good for younger ages as far as the demographic. There we can see all the piece count for the set. Whether or not there are actual extra pieces, I'm not sure, but I won't really keep track. I'll consider them all as pieces put in there on purpose. We also get to see on the back of the box, it shows you some alternative build ideas, and it says in the top corner, inspiration included. We have a small book that has a few steps for building different models, and also shows pictures for other builds. So we'll take a look at that. Just nothing much else on this box. Pretty small box, good size for, just holding the pieces that it needs to. We have two bags that come with this set. One for small pieces, one for larger pieces. If you want to see the division of the pieces between the bags and how to build some of the models, you can check out my building video, linked in the description. We'll put those there. So next up we have the instruction book, or actually it's called the inspiration book in this set, which says build and rebuild. We have a whole bunch of ideas shown throughout here, and starts off with some small stuff that you can build. It shows part of it built, and then you get to build the rest of it just by visually, just by these small pictures. It even shows you how to build a horse and wagon. You can build a small castle front, and it shows you more details you can add on to here. And you have this little platform, I guess, with some fences. You also have a little bedroom setup. And even though it only shows you how to make the dresser, you can still make the rest of the bedroom, just by looking at it and given the pieces in the set. It's not too difficult. We might build some of these alternative models in this review, so stay tuned for that. I do apologize, though, if it makes it a longer review than it may need to be. But I thought it would help if you saw some of those other models. We have some, quite a lot of pages in here, actually. I didn't realize. They give you so many ideas, so many possibilities for using the same amount of pieces. Now it finally gets to the back of it, where it shows you finding more build instructions online using lego.com/creative. Whether or not that's still valid, I'm not sure. And on the back, we also get to see some of the other models that can be built, other sets actually, including the extra large gray base plate, which we've reviewed before. Some of these other ones may not be available in stores anymore. I don't think the ones on the top are available, but I know that this one for sure is still in stores. Always good to get basic bricks. We also have some small tubs which can still be purchased in stores. Usually include about 1 to 2 minifigures each, a bunch of accessories, and some basic parts for easy building. We also have a section in the back for Lego Friends. In the instructions, it also shows you a piece count in here on 2 pages. And we have the win section on the back showing some Lego Friends. So let's get on to the build right now. the first one in this set. So first up, let's go over the minifigure. This is our Lego princess in this set. Now this princess has been featured in other sets with not exactly the same combination of pieces, but something similar to them. No new torso printing or face printing or hair with this minifigure, but it is one of the cheaper and more modern ways to get it. I don't recall any newer sets that have this same combination. In fact, I'm not even sure if this hair is in blonde in other sets. Usually I see it in brown, maybe black sometimes, but very few times in blonde, so I do appreciate that. And again, it's what I like about this also, they have the dress connecting to the torso. You can see there's a little bit like that gold belt that goes between the torso and the dress. So it makes it a little bit more, like, it doesn't interrupt the details on it. We also have in this set a pair of black pants that comes with the figure, as you may have seen in the instructions and on the packaging. So basically put these on if you want to put the girl on the horse, and it helps her ride it better since the dress is not, the horse is not designed for fitting the dress on there. It only has enough space for just these black pants. Really nothing special about the black pants themselves. They're just a pair of black pants. So I guess we'll move on then. The first build we have includes a combination of parts. These are shown a little bit separately throughout the instructions, but also our main, the main model that's on the front of the box. This one includes about 4 different builds, and we have the princess with it. Let's go from the smallest to the biggest. Move this back. First up, we have the small fence, and it's kind of a nice color scheme with this fence. So it's not, too much of one color, not too much of another. We also get the nice gold flag that goes on top of here. We only get really not much to that, but it's still a good accessory to go along with the other ones. Next up, we have the small dresser station. I put the carrot in here because it seems convenient. Just, in case the girl doesn't want to carry it around. But you could always put the carrot somewhere else. I don't think we've had that green bucket in too many newer sets. So I find that to be interesting. And I don't have this bucket on my own from other sets in general. I also don't have much of the comb or even the girl. But I do like this little accessory. In comparison to the minifigure, it does fit pretty much at the right height. The dish might be a little bit larger though. But you can make it work if you built like a small chair or something, or a step stool or something like that for her to stand on. You can take the comb out of the spot and put it on her so that she can comb her hair. Or if you twist the hand around, you can make it a little bit closer for getting nicer details. So it does have a good element of play. I mean, it's a comb, but I still like how you can use that with the minifigure. Next up, we have the horse and wagon. The girl can fit on the horse and wagon just fine. There's enough space for her and a little bit extra on the back. I'll just put this carrot in her hand, which also has enough space. Now we also get enough room for the horse, so it's not too crunched in the middle between the horse and the wagon itself. Got these nice larger wagon wheels compared to some older ones, which were a little bit smaller, but they still had the larger versions in those times too, just not as much. You can spin this around freely. It doesn't, get in the way of the wheels. And mainly you're moving the horse. You're not really moving the wheels unless you lift the horse up a little bit. So even though the horse is standing here, the wheels don't move too much because they don't touch the ground the same way the horse does. You can take the horse off of here very easily. And you can see how that looks. It's the same kind of horse we've gotten this year and, 2013, 2014, maybe 2012? I don't recall. Maybe it was. But it's a pretty modern version of a horse. You could stick a few pieces inside of here to make it more organic. And this is the version which has the back legs that can hinge. We also have the head that can hinge forward like that. So we have good articulation with it, and also just a newer print on the horse itself. Very nice to get. It fits on here very easily. And you just attach that, take this piece off, and then you have your wagon ready to move. And lastly, from this small assortment, we have the castle. Not much of a castle, I understand, but it just has a main base to it. Given the pieces in the set, it gives a nice appearance from the front, even though there's not much to do in the back. You could probably just put something like this behind there to make it a little bit more in-depth. You do have space up here that you can fit the princess on if you wanted to have her looking over the kingdom. Oops, I think the carrot got in the way of that. Let me try that again without the carrot. There we go. So we have enough space for her to fit up there. We also have all these little flower designs that are on the top as well as on the bottom, so it fits well with the theme and just, you know, brightens up the place. We also have these nice tower pieces, called spires, right? No, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Correct me in the comments if I make a mistake about that. But they still add some nice details to it. Now, what we also have with this small model, we get to open up these windows. Not much of a feature, but still something else that you can do with it. You could have her, you know, playing hide and seek or something, or something, I don't know. But it's actually a large window pane, 2 bricks deep, and it's just a one white piece, but we have these small windows that can go on, you know, that just attach on the sides to it. They only attach on the one side because we don't have holes on the other side for it. So there we have that model. All 4 of these seem to work well. Whether or not they work well with each other, I'm not sure. But they still have a nice appearance to them. And you also still have plenty of other pieces to make some more stuff. Let me just move these aside, and I'll show you all the other extra pieces from this build. I'll just scatter them a little bit so that you can see it a little bit clearer. And there we have those. Very nice assortment that's left over. The gold you could still put in the castle wherever you want to, or you could still use these as add-ons for other parts that were made in the set if you wanted to. So let's take a look at some other builds. So the next section we have is shown only really to build. It really only shows the instructions for building part of the gateway, but here we have this build shown on page 9. I forgot to show you the other pages. Basically it's 2 through 7 of those other pages for building things. But this one just shows you on page 9 and 8 for building this section of the, you know, inspirational models. What we have this time, we have the girl on the horse, so we had to switch out the pants so that she can ride the horse. And it shows in the picture that she's riding through the gate with the horse, and I guess, you know, it's just like a nice little horse ride around, you know, a field or somewhere in the castle, presumably. So we have these small benches, not benches, we have these small fences to really, you know, kind of stand alone, but this one has a little bit more depth to it, so it doesn't fall over as easily. But also using the pieces in the set works out good. We also have, and you know, just gives it like a little bit of difference of color between them. You can't really make 2 of the same colors, not entirely. You can try to make them of the same pattern though, but you can't make them of the same colors, just for the pieces that are available in this set. This one has a little bit more floral detail. This one just, that's all it is. Well, there we have the fences. And then, you know, the main part that's built would be this, you know, very elaborate, well, not too elaborate, but, you know, what's the word? Very decorated gateway. Basically has these 2 gold pieces used as some kind of detail or statue or some kind. You know, makes it a little bit more royal, looks, but still has a nice colorful look to it. You have this little path that's shown in blue. Very easy to build for all 3 of these. And, well, we already had the horse and the princess built. Now I guess we'll bring over all the extra pieces, lots more extra pieces in this one. Very few of the basic bricks used, I've noticed, and a lot more in terms of plates. So this might be a good starter, unless I mention later in the review some other good starters as far as, you know, for younger kids trying to build these types of models. So we'll have a glance over at all of these pieces. It looks like a lot because they're just bigger, and there are technically more pieces that are left over from that last build. The next build that we have, according to the inspiration book, as shown on pages 10 and 11, is the bedroom setup. There's a little royal bedroom that is set up for the princess. Let's take a closer look. Most of this I tried to figure out just by looking at the picture, so here's my best impression of it. There can be changes to it. Let's take a closer look now. So we start off with the princess. She can sit upon the little stool, and here's her little, I guess it's like a makeup table or something, but like a nice little dresser of some kind. You know, she could have a couple things stored. Maybe this is a perfume bottle, maybe this is like makeup or something, I'm not sure, but you can make it to whatever you want it to be. This is the main part that's actually shown as instructions for building it. The rest, I'm actually surprised that this one is shown, but I guess it makes sense because you probably wouldn't have figured out there are pieces on the back. When you were a little kid, you probably would have put it up one way and then it would have fallen over. We have some flowers on the top shelf as well, so giving a little bit more decoration. Next up we have this small desk lamp and desk. I really couldn't figure out the piece underneath here as it shows in the instructions. It's a little taller than the actual bed, so I knew that there was a piece under there, but I didn't know exactly what that piece was, so I put it in just a turquoise color. It just has, you know, a small idea for a desk lamp, and we have a small flower on here. Not much to put, but it's still nice as a detail. And then last but not least, we have the bed. I guess you could say it's a queen-size bed, right? Actually, she's not a queen, she's a princess. So this is as best as I could do for looking at the picture and figuring out. It's pretty accurate. And I have, you know, it's a nice design to it. You know, it got some, maybe this is a crown at the top, or it could just be more royal accessories, you know, just to, you know, give more decoration to the room itself. Underneath, I really didn't put any pieces because I couldn't tell if there were any under there, but you could definitely use them if you wanted to, just to make it more sturdy. We also have this little turquoise area, I guess it's a pillow, and you can actually fit the princess on here, just like so. So we have enough room to fit her on there as if she's just taking a little nap. So this part is not too bad. You know, we got a lot of extra pieces from this one. Not too bad as far as figuring out how to build the rest of it. I guess I can finally figure out, you know, I thought at first the bed would have been the hardest thing for a smaller kid to build. It probably is the dresser, even though they have just about the same amount of pieces. This, you know, the dresser takes a little bit more as far as stacking in between them, and knowing that it's actually, you know, like 2 layers thick, so that way it can stand up better. But that makes sense to me for why they chose that option, and I don't mind for the little piece sticking out underneath the, you know, the dresser. It's as best as I could figure out, and I'm sure other kids would have done it the same way. Here we have all the extra pieces that were from the previous build of the bedroom. I forgot to mention a couple times, but these 2 pieces are actually separate. I always keep them together because you usually have a stalk with the carrot, but they are separate pieces. You can see there. And they're nothing new. We've seen them tons of times before, but this is so far one of the more recent and more cheap ways to get it. So I do like it, although they can be cheaper than that. But we do get a lot of extra pieces in here. Again, a lot of the plates have already been used, so you get a lot of basic bricks and some smaller stuff in this assortment. So here's the next build that's shown in the instructions. These are on pages 12 and 13. As you can see here, we got the nice little setup with a different kind of wagon, a small bush, and a small castle. I believe it's a castle, but it's kind of lacking in structure, so I don't know if I can really call it a castle. So let's take a closer look at all of it. We'll start off with the bush. Very simple design. Kind of a nice one. Might be useful for building other models. Kind of the type that I see sometimes in creator sets. And it's really interesting to me, even though it's made out of a few pieces. It doesn't have really much playability, and mainly is just used as a decoration, but still has a nice form to it. Next up we have the... Again, I don't know if there's a castle or a tower, because this really has no structure underneath or on the bottom of it. Not really... I mean, again, it's more of a display model and has a little bit of play if you wanted it to. We could try to take the princess and put her behind here, see how she fits in height. It's kind of a high window for her, so maybe I would suggest taking off some of the bricks on the bottom, and that way she can stand on here better, maybe look out the window. Again, not much in the ways of play features, but still has just some nice decoration. And last but not least, we have the wagon itself. You know, kind of similar to the other one, but this one's more of a pink design instead of a blue design. A little bit more formal, and doesn't have her with the dress. It has her instead with the black pants in the set. So, a little bit of nicer decoration on this one. I kind of like it. The last one was also nice too. But I also like it that she's sitting instead of standing with the dress. Even though she has black instead of a white. So, and this has the same features as before. You can just roll it around with the wagon. But if you try to do it with the horse, it doesn't roll so well because the wheels don't touch the ground so well. So there we have that set. And here we have the collection of pieces that are left over from the model. A lot of them being bricks, some of them being plates, and we have a lot of smaller accessories. I'd have to say for the model itself, it's one of the easier ones to build, and would probably work best for younger kids, but as far as play, I don't know how much they'll get out of it. You probably want to use some of these other pieces to make some other interesting models that they can play with. So next up we have pages 14 and 15. This is kind of a small model to make. Most of it is explained in the instructions, luckily. And this one mainly shows you a small station where you have some feeding for the horse included in the set. Kind of a nice little thought. You know, after riding around for a long day, you can take your horse here to catch up on some food. You know, brush his hair, maybe get his hooves, you know, clean of any dirt. So, what we basically have, we have the horse itself with this little gem on top. Same decoration as we've had before, but, you know, nice little area to put it on, I guess. As maybe like a saddle or something. Although you can't actually sit the princess on here. Princess is still standing and has her comb with her. Again, it doesn't have to be for hair. It could be for... like I thought of, you know, like cleaning out the hooves with dirt. I know a little bit about it from horseback riding one time. Anyways, the station itself is very simple to make. Good start. We have the carrot that can just fit right into the basket, so you can feed it to the horse. We also have, this is supposed to be food of some sort, which it shows on the picture that the horse is kind of leaning towards it. You know, having some, maybe it's like some food grinded up. I'm not sure exactly what kind of food will be in there, but it's a nice little thought for the bowl. Very basic build, not too bad. And not much to really say about this. A lot of these, I really do apologize for saying this multiple times, for every single build especially. But this seems to be like an easy model to build for younger builders. I guess I'll have to figure out at the end which ones or which one is like the easiest to build and then where to go from there as far as difficulty. Because in the instructions, they all seem to be easy in different ways. Like you have a whole bunch of models to build at one time, but they're all like very small models, so it's easier. Or you just have one model like this. It takes a little bit more pieces, but it's still easy to build. So we're going to move all this aside and then we'll show you the extra pieces one more time. So you can see here we have a large selection of pieces, a lot of them, again, basic bricks. A lot of them that you can definitely use to make some other models. Maybe put some fences up for this area. Maybe you can make another feeding ground or some kind of training area for the horse to ride over. But lots of pieces nonetheless that you get as extras for this model. Last but not least, in the inspiration book, we have this little gateway, which is not so little compared to the last one we've taken a look at. This is on pages 16 and 17 of our instruction book. Very easy to show, how to build it. It's mainly just building the gate itself, but it does have a little bit of building with the horse, and it has just the fence standing up in the corner, so you could even stand the other one up if you wanted to, since you have both available. Let's take a closer look at it. The fence is just the fence. I have to show that. The horse, we've shown the horse before, but you can see difference of detail on it. Kind of has a flower with a gem on top this time. I found that kind of interesting, but they probably still want to keep this, but have a little bit of difference in the decoration. This time we have the princess back in the dress form, and I've actually looked up online in between parts of the video. This princess, the entire figure, has not been shown before in any LEGO set. However, pieces of her have been used only a couple times. So, some of these pieces are actually not too easy to find. It's not, this is one of the least expensive ways to find all of these pieces. The hair has actually been used before with figures from Indiana Jones and other fantasy type sets, but nothing too recent until this set. The torso is brand new. This set and only one other set included. So it's very nice to get it there. And the dress has been used with other matching torsos before, but this again is the cheapest way to get it. So I'll just keep that in mind. You can even look on Brickset to see more specifics as far as how the pieces are divided between other sets. But she has what looks like some sort of baton. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be in this set, but you can see again on the inspiration book how that looks. Let me know in the comments if you know what it is. Well, basically, there's not much to this. There's no actual play features here. We just have the gate. Kind of like a large castle gate, in my opinion. So this would be nice if you were making a large castle. But you can't make the rest of a castle using the other pieces in this set alone. You could try it with some other things, but you'll need to buy other sets for it. So do we have enough room to fit the horse in here? Let's see. If I stand this still. Okay, he doesn't fit entirely, but if you just put his neck down a little bit, he'll fit through. So you can see it's a little bit down here, and we can get him through. So it's a nice little walkway for him. We obviously wouldn't fit the princess on top with this dress. We'd probably just fit her with the black pants if you wanted to switch to those. What the purpose is, I'm not really sure, but it is a very simple model to build. It uses a lot of the basic bricks, almost all the basic bricks that we have. And let's just cut over to the extra pieces to take a look. And now for the last time, here are all the extra pieces we get from the previous build. Now this one shows that it has a lot of smaller pieces. You could try to make these into some other things. As I mentioned before, you could put up some more fences. The castle battlements can't really be used much unless you had a really creative use for them. But as far as the build itself, I guess it's okay. It's, again, a simple model, not too hard for younger kids, and might be interesting for a little while, but you also might have that problem with the horse fitting through the gate. It doesn't all, you have to bend them down a little bit to get it through. And what I suggest, you have a bunch of these 1x1 pieces as extra pieces. So we have enough of these that we could take, or even the 2x2. You can take a bunch of these and just heighten it a little bit so that you can, get the horse fitting through there. Not too bad on that improvement. I hope you all enjoyed all of the models that I built throughout this review. As some of you may have seen, there is another review of this set which only covers the main model, but I wanted to show off all the other ones as inspirational models since they're part of the entire building experience. It's not just about building the one that's shown on the box, it's also about building some other ideas. And you're always capable of doing that with any LEGO sets. Just because a book tells you a bunch of more ideas doesn't mean or just because it tells you one way of doing it doesn't mean you can't do it other ways. There are always opportunities for building different models from the same pieces that you use in a set. In fact, there have been a couple of LEGO competitions that encourage that, where you try to take one set and rebuild all the pieces into something else than the main model. So it's kind of a cool experience, and it's definitely, you know, an element of LEGO that makes things great. Plus, you can make it in your own image. You don't have to make it the same way they do in the inspiration book. You can always make it in different ways and new combinations. I'm sure there are plenty of other things you could do with this, not mentioned in the book, that you could definitely put into, you know, just put a little imagination behind it, and then you can make something really awesome and original. Now, of all the builds we had, let's see, back in the beginning, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different pages that are associated with building models. Some of them building more than one model per page. Some of them building one large model. What I find interesting about all of these, as you've heard throughout the review, is they've all been very simple models to build. From my experience, they've been very simple, and I believe that even for younger kids, this will be a not too bad building experience, because a lot of them are easy pieces to put together. They're put together in a very simple way, so they don't have, you know, like little things in between that make it difficult. And they're also in good colors, and the colors between them are recognizable. So if you have something wrong, then you know how to fix it, and it won't take too much effort. I do encourage the parents help build with this if they're working with younger kids, so that they have a better play experience. Like, for example, you have the parent as a horse and the child playing as a princess, or you could have the role reversed, so that you could have a little bit more fun with playing with this set. And yes, I do encourage parents building with this, because it's most likely towards the younger age, as shown on the box, even though anybody could buy a set and anybody can build it as they like to. So, overall, I really like this set. And that's coming from somebody that's definitely not in the age limit, and definitely not in the demographic that it was intended for. I mean, personally, I don't see too many colorful sets like this at a young age, but except for more recently. So I really do appreciate that they've been able to make this, you know, for younger kids, and make it very easy for them to make something and recreate it into something else. Definitely gives them the idea that, hey, if I could do it into this, maybe I could make it into something else. As well as expanding on the ideas of the pieces used in the set. Sure, this isn't too great as far as the price per piece ratio, but it's not too bad when you compare it to the possibilities that this set contains. Plus, for some other LEGO fans, you may appreciate the fact that there are some nice pearl gold pieces in here. We got the nice window element, which I haven't seen too recently in this size, but it's nice to get. We got a pink battlement. I mean, how many times do you find that? That's kind of a cool thought. You also get the horse in a cheap set, probably the cheapest one that's currently in stores. You get the princess herself, which is, you know, a combination of some rare parts. And I consider it rare because some of them, as I mentioned before, have been featured in only a couple other sets. So I find that really cool, and even the torso is brand new for this minifigure. So if you want to get a nice princess to add to your collection, this is a good one to collect. Even in comparison to some others that have been used in LEGO sets, I think this one holds up very well. And as far as the collection of pieces, very nice to get all the turquoise, the pink, the darker pink, the even darker than that pink, you know, ones like this, and even like the lime green color is very nice to get. What I like about female, you know, oriented sets like this, you know, when the demographic is for girls, sometimes it opens up more possibilities for sets that we don't get otherwise in other themes. Like I've said before about Friends, they do that kind of thing, but even this one, it opens up some possibilities, but it also just opens up the variety of pieces and when you can get them. I probably wouldn't have gotten a comb this cheap, or a backpack this cheap, or a horse this cheap, or the minifigure, or the carrot this cheap, if not for sets like this. So it's really nice to get these kinds of elements as a as a standard Lego collector myself, I enjoy this set a lot, and I enjoy the pieces that are used in here. I believe that they'll have great use for other people. If you're watching this review by just judging on the one set, then the main model is really good. I appreciate all the little builds that you get with it, so it has enough environment that your kids can play with it and enjoy it for lots of different ideas of play. If you saw this review with all the other sets involved, or should I say inspiration models, I still think that the main model holds up really well. It definitely demonstrates what the set can do all at the same time. But there are lots of other great models through here. Personally, I liked the second best model that I liked in this set was actually the royal bedroom setting. It just had a nice appearance to it, and I didn't really expect there to be like this nice color blend between all the models. Really offered some ideas for how you could build this, so it made it nice to make the dresser in the instructions, but also made it a little bit cooler to try to figure out how that bed and the nightstand was made. We also just have some nice use with that stand itself. It's got a nice color scheme, as I said before, so it just, and also just has a lot more miniature models to build that you could add into your own other Lego sets if you really wanted to. So overall, I really appreciate this set. For $10, this thing packs more than you expected to. I'm also looking forward to the Lego Junior set, similar to this one, but definitely has more pieces, difference of minifigures and accessories, and has a slide. Probably the big thing that I like about the set so far, without even getting it. Other than the minifigure, which is nice, and the pieces involved. But I would love to see what other kinds of builds that are involved with that set as well. But this one is also a good one to pick up if you're looking for a smaller set to get for your kids. Usually, it's going to be in the female demographic, like I said before. But if you're an older fan and you don't really mind, if you have an open mind, I would go with this, So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time with more Lego set reviews.